What is happening, agents? This is your boy InfamousTrixsta, and I'm back with another build video. Now, I know I've been away for a little bit of time. I've been trying out some other games, mostly Warzone, but I wanted to make sure I get this build video out to you guys, just so you can play around with it and try it out, and yeah, use it the way you kind of like it. All right. Now, before I jump into the build video, I want to say thank you to every single one of you that have subscribed to the channel, that have liked the videos, that have commented on my previous videos. You guys are amazing. I have surpassed 100 subscribers, and I thank every single one of you for that. You guys are a great community, and I definitely hope to continue growing with you guys along my path. All right, so I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, definitely go and do that right now. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any of the future videos that I put out. And yeah, leave comments in the section below. I always try to respond to the comments, and I appreciate every one of you guys for doing what you can to help me out on my journey. So what I'm going to do in this build video, just like all my other ones, I'm going to break down my specialization, the weapons that I'm using, the gear pieces that I have, some alternatives to the gear pieces that I'm using, and the skills that pull everything together. Alright, so like I mentioned, first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and talk about the specialization. Now, in this build, I do use the technician specialization. Now, there's a few key factors in the reasoning why I use them. I'll tell you in just a moment. So, one of the other alternatives that you could use, there's not really much benefit to it, but it does prevent damage. So the survivalist specialization gives you one perk that's called Elite Defense, where it gives you 10% increased protection from elites. This is really the only reason why you would want to use this. This also would be another reason. To be honest with you, though, most of the time you're not going to have time to go and repair your armor or anything like that with a repair kit. So this is really the only reason why this specialization would be any good. Okay, so that's one of the alternatives, but the main specialization you want to use is technician. Now I'm going to point out a few reasons why. So first and foremost, it gives you one free skill tier. Now normally where I would be in a 0 skill tier, because I'm using armor attributes, I get one free skill tier just for speccing into specialization, being the technician. So that's one reason. Second reason we're looking at is one of the skills that we're using, which is the Artificer Hive. Now this here works so well with this build, and to be honest with you, it works well with any skilled build as well. It provides a buff to you and your team if you deploy it. Now, if you were solo, this also works well with you, because even if you don't deploy the skill, it works for you alone on your back. When it's holstered, it's still in use. So it's really nice to have, because it actually provides a boost to all of your skills, including this one being the shield build. So that's another reason. A third reason is Faraday Field. Party members within 5 meters of your deployed and undisrupted skills are immune to shock and disruption. So as long as you have the shield out, which you are going to be having 99% of the time, you will want to try to stay within 5 meters, or have somebody stay within 5 meters of you that's using skills, so that they don't get disrupted or shock. Now when you play on heroic, legendary, or if you play with directives, you're going to get shocked, you're going to get disruption, and all of that kind of stuff all the time. So this is really nice to have. It just adds to increasing the amount of damage overall. Okay, now I don't really use any of the weapons or anything like that. I'm going to get into that in a moment, but my Liberty pistol is the only thing I really use. So you want to spec into at least the pistol, and I mean, if you're going to switch out to other weapons, you can do that, but I advise against it being a tank. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down the weapons next. Now, I'm not even going to bother going into the weapons to tell you what the weapons damage does or anything like that, because I never switch to these. I never have to switch to these. But what I'll do is I'll tell you what the talent is on here. So the talent is Preservation. Killing an enemy repairs 10% of armor over 5 seconds. Headshot kills improve the repair by an additional 10%. Now, like I said, you never switch to these to even have to worry about repairing your armor. So these are not even, I'm not even going to break down the guns at all. We're going to go to the Liberty though. Now the Liberty, I re-rolled this to give it 15% pistol damage at max. And it's also got 9% damage to targets out of cover, which is always nice. Now the talent on here is really nice to have with the shield build. Liberty or Death. Hits grant 2% weapon damage, stacks up to 30 times. Headshots consume all stacks, repairing your shield for 3% per stack. So like I mentioned, it works extremely well with the shield build, and it also hits hard. It's chunky damage. It's really nice. We're going to go into the gear pieces next. So right now, we are currently using 2 pieces of golden gear. We're using 2 pieces of Gilligard, 1 piece of RK, and we've also got exotic knee pads. Now, like I mentioned, there are alternatives. I do have another set that I use for tanking, and it all depends on the situation that I'm in, where I switch it up. So let's go ahead and break down the gear here. So we've got, like I said, 2 pieces of golden gear. So 1 piece gives us 10% status effect, which isn't really useful. Funny enough though, I think 3 or 4 of my pieces actually have status effect rolled on my tank gear here. So I wasn't able to find anything else that had decent rolls on it, so we are making do with what we've got. So 10% status effect for 1 piece of golden gear, and 2 pieces of golden gear gives you armor regeneration. Now the stats on here, we're looking at max armor, 9.9 status effect, max health, and 12% protection from elites. The backpack that we're using is this first piece of Gilligard. On here we're looking at 2 pieces of Gilligard gives 5% total armor and 10% health. We're looking at max armor on here as well, just under 19,000 health, max roll status effect again like I mentioned earlier, and we've got 12% protection from elites. Now the talent on here is really nice to have with the shield. I think it's actually exactly the same as what I had on my previous shield build, which is Protector. When your shield is damaged, you gain 5% bonus armor, and all other allies gain 15% of your armor as bonus armor for 3 seconds. Now this is extremely nice to have because you are always going to be taking damage when you're a tank. So as long as you're taking damage on the shield, you are going to be giving your team extra armor. It's amazing. It works so well because they will pretty much always have bonus armor on. Look at the chest piece. So this is the second piece of the Gilligard. So we're looking at 163,000 armor, 8.6 status effect, again, 9.2 hazard protection, and mod slots got 12% protection from elites. Now on here we're using the Vanguard talent. Deploying a shield makes it invulnerable for 5 seconds and grants 45% of your armor as bonus armor to all other allies for 20 seconds. This is very, very nice to have because first off, it gives you free damage that you're not going to be taking, including your shield. It makes it invincible for 5 seconds, and it also grants your team 45% bonus armor, which is very, very nice. Second piece of golden gear that I've got is gloves here. So we're looking at 161,000 armor, max health, and 9.7 hazard protection. Now this is a piece that I kind of switch out sometimes. So we've got a named holster called Forge, which is the piece of RK. Now most of the time you're going to have somebody on the team that usually will heal. If not, then the 50% health for the shield is a huge bonus. It doesn't matter if you're not benefiting from the incoming repairs. But let's break down this piece here. So we've got 20% incoming repairs, 1 skill tier, 50% shield health, and max armor regen at 4,925. Okay, now this provides a huge buff to the shield, giving it 50% extra shield health. Okay, and the last piece we're looking at is the exotic Sawyer's knee pads. Now this currently has 170,000 armor at max, 7.9 explosive resistance, and 16,468 health. Now the talent on here is called Stand Your Ground. Cannot be staggered by explosions, which is a very good thing in legendaries and heroics. Increases total weapon damage by 3% each second you are not moving. Stacks up to 10 until you start moving. All stacks lost 10 seconds after moving. So like I mentioned, I do have variations of this build. Now sometimes what I like to use is, instead of using the chest piece that has Vanguard on it, if I know that I'm going to be taking a lot of damage from all around the room, usually I switch to tardigrade chest piece. The reason why is because the talent on here actually gives a very useful armor buff to the team. So a blade of nanoplating, whenever you or an ally's armor breaks, they gain 80% of your armor as bonus armor for 10 seconds. Now, we have a huge amount of armor, so 80% of that is a huge amount of armor for the rest of the team. Cooldown per ally is 45 seconds. Now, killing an enemy with your specialized weapon removes this cooldown for all allies. Now, to be honest with you, you're not going to be switching to the rocket launcher on this build, because you're going to have your shield out all the time. So you just kind of have to make do with that 45-second cooldown per ally. Now, like I said, I usually switch out this and the knee pads. I do have a Founder Bulwark, but these aren't really that good in terms of stats. The armor is not even that great, really. So that's usually what I do. I switch it out with that, and then I also put a holster, which is the Bulwark. So then I'm actually getting two pieces, which give me the 10% total armor. But in most cases, I like to use the Protector and the Vanguard talents, so this is the one that I use. Alright, so we're going to look at the skills next. Now, like I mentioned already, we are in the Technician specialization, so we are using the Artificer Hive. So this one here is actually very nice because, like I mentioned, it refreshes the shield every 7 seconds on here. Now, the mods that I've got on here, we've got 9.3 stim efficiency, duration is at 10%, and range is at 10%. Okay, now I am currently at skill tier 2. Now, if you guys noticed, my holster that I'm using doesn't have armor on it, it's got a skill tier. Along with my specialization being the Technician, one free skill tier bumps me up to 2. So automatically the Artificer Hive gets bumped up to skill tier 2. And let's look at the second skill that I'm using, which is the bread and butter of this build, the Bulwark Shield. So one thing a lot of people don't know, you should not be using skill tiers to build a shield. You want to be using armor attributes, core attributes, to get you up to max if you can. 1 or 2 skill tier is fine, but if you're making a tank build, you want to be making sure that you're actually using armor attributes to gain full skill tier 6. Now the mod slot on here we're looking at is 4.4 holstered regeneration, which I have not been able to replace with anything better, unfortunately. This one here we're looking at 4.4 shield health, and this one we're looking at 4.5 shield health. Now shield health is very big on this build because of the fact that you want to be taking as much damage as you can before the shield health gets depleted. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this build, guys. I have a small clip that I'm going to be showing you guys of just a small run through. Now it is a bit slow, so I've sped it up a little bit so that it's not too boring to watch, because it's a pistol and these enemies have a chunk of health. So I will be showcasing you guys the video right now, so definitely tune in for that. So I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. I have been playing Call of Duty Warzone more recently. I've been looking for a little bit of a change from the Division, but if you're interested in Warzone, you can definitely check me out on my YouTube channel. I'm also on Twitch, and Facebook Gaming. Definitely check it out, InfamousTrixsta Gaming, and you should be able to find me no problem there. Alright, so that's going to be it for this build video. If you want to stay tuned, I will show you the small run through that I did. Until the next video, guys, InfamousTrixsta out.
Your goal is collective transcripts of most plots of prisoner interrogations. The information must drop to the grade laptop in holding area downstairs. When you're by, look around.
InfamousTrixsta Gaming.